Welcome back, guys. Mike here, Money, Marriage, and Media, and we are back with the Lapeef Network. All right, Anton says 30 and 40-year-old women are broken. Can't fix black community. But you know what can be fixed? 600 subscribers. Getting us there will definitely fix some of these issues going on, right? Nah, but it will help us reach the goal, right? All right, let's go ahead and get started because I think we know where this is going. Let's go.
Works for you and marry this goddamn woman so you can like help fix this whole situation.
But how she go? How she go?
Even if the women are single mothers,
Hold on, Ali.
somebody is going to have to settle down with a single mother.
That's a problem, and that's why I'm saying I'm not an advocate for marriage. I'm an advocate for being married successfully. I don't believe that everybody should.
I'm an advocate for marriage, period.
No, because what you do is you compound the problems, and you're not actually solving for
how
people. Because one of the reasons why we in this situation in the first place is because a bunch of people was married before us, but they weren't married successfully, and it's the difference. And then they passed on these generational curses, which ultimately led to the situation that we in.
So what is the answer then?
The answer is to do it the right way.
You can't do it the right way if you're already a single mother, or if you can't do it right if you're on your 15th dick.
Correct, which means that we shouldn't be focused on women that are on their 15th
It's
dick.
80 to 90%.
Thank you, Anton.
On that 15th dick.
I see the point. I see what we're talking about here. This is at some point this had to come to a head, and we got to talk about this. Anton versus Let Go. I know a lot of you guys are going to agree with Anton. She got kids. I don't. Yeah, okay. First off, one of y'all, the guys that y'all are complaining about, the ones of y'all are complaining. First off, how many of y'all actually trying to be married? Let's address that issue first. Okay. If you pro marriage, then I will entertain that conversation. But if you're not even looking to get married, dudes, then go over there. You not part of the conversation that we're having going over here. Okay. Now, the argument we have here is being pro marriage versus being pro successfully marriage. The part to whole is what we really got. Okay. You have to be. Marriage needs to be the norm. Anton makes a great point, and I'm going to let him get to it. But remember, it's part of the same argument, or I should say, they're part of the same solution. So let's keep going.
Listen, the word says that if you want to solve for a problem, the children of Israel, right? When Moses led them out of Pharaoh's out of his grip, right? They were hell bent and determined to do what they wanted to do, regardless of how much grace that God showed them. The lesson in that was that none of them saw the promised land. None of them. None of them saw the land of milk and honey. They all had to die off. The children of Israel, all of those that got led out of Egypt, actually had to die off. You can't save people that are determined and already hardened in their heart. It was multiple lessons in that whole biblical scripture, that whole lesson. You can't save people that already have a hardened heart. The scriptures say that if you want to really change how things go long term, then you have to pierce the heart of a child. So you start with the people. If you want to save somebody, yeah, people can pick and choose whatever it is that they want to do. But once they become adults, they harden in whatever it is that they're going to do. It doesn't mean that they can't change, but they're going to have to do it on their own. The energy needs to be shifted to be focused on the people that actually are not already tainted. It's the young people that we need to be focused on.
The reason why
Anton, that sounds good, but I would ask Anton, is that something he's practicing in his life? Because I've heard him say that he is very protective of who he lets his daughter spend time with and who she can be friends with. And this may not be true anymore, but at one time he was very cautious to let his daughter have friends who were single, who were the result of who only had one parent. Maybe that's changed. I don't know. But if you're going to that lengths to protect your child from picking up certain behaviors, then what are we talking about here now? Again, remember what I said. There's a problem, and Let Go and Anton are both talking about similar solutions. I'm gonna get. I promise I'm gonna get more in depth in that, but we need to get a little bit further in the video.
Mr. Let Go is doing that is for the sake of content consistency. He probably don't believe in the shit he's saying, but because he have so
Well,
many.
I can't say that. I can't say that he does or he doesn't. All I'm saying is that if you want to change how things are going, then you got to start with the young people that's not tainted, and it can't happen from people that are tainted, because all they doing is passing on their own trauma and their generational curses onto the next generation.
Okay, now that lines up with the statement that I've heard Anton make about, you know, who his daughter can hang with and stuff like that. That matches that. But again, what percentage of black people are we talking about?
Has to start from people that actually are doing it successfully, that can then pass on the lessons based off of their lived experiences.
What is the problem, Anton?
Not based off, because ultimately what kids will do is say, they will look at them and they will say, well, you didn't fucking do it, or you don't. Why should I believe you? You had your fun, you did what you wanted to do, or whatever, so on and so forth. Which is why I live my life like an open book, is so that my talking points is the cherry on top, but my lifestyle was the thing that they need to lean on in order to be successful.
But if 80% of these individuals are like this, and
then you gotta listen.
Hold on, listen, let me finish.
80%.
So if 80% of these individuals are like this, you want 80% of the population to quote unquote die off, which they aren't, because they're multiplying like cats. So they're multiplying and not dying off. So they're making more fatherless babies, which are growing up to be as fucked up as a lot of other black people are. So they are multiplying instead of dying off. So if there was some type of way that the die off or the attrition, I'll use the word attrition, was the actually work, cool. But they're not. They're multiplying like cats. So
you're saying if you can't beat the trife, join the trife.
Huh?
So you're saying if you can't beat the trife, join the trife. My question to you is, how does it benefit a man to choose a woman to marry that's on her 15th dick and has a child from another man?
That's ultimately the question.
Benefit. What do you mean?
Listen.
What do you mean?
Listen, the path to hell is wide and the road to righteousness is narrow. There is going to be a lot of people that perish. There's going to be a lot of people that fail. It's not going to say that the world is ever going to be perfect. It's always going to be poor amongst us. It's always going to be demons amongst us, whatever, so on and so forth. The reality is that if you want to build a tribe and you want to start fixing something, you have to start with the youth. You will not start by trying to reprogram people that are already broken.
He didn't address the issue. The issue was that the youth are already tainted because the majority of them are coming from single parent homes. I get what Let Go is saying, but like I said before, him and Anton, they're two chapters in the same book of solutions of problems of fixing the community, and I promise I'm gonna get there.
Not gonna happen.
Yes, I agree so much. That's why I really feel like young ladies, try to teach our young girls, young women not to have these whole phases. I hate that. Like, so many women are single and lonely now because they have these whole phases. Like, you have in some, how can I say this? Because I get kind of upset when I see a lot of young girls, 18, they just like.
Okay, whole phase is bad. We can move on.
I don't know why this married man always ask women this. I just don't know why.
Wait, what?
Why? I don't know why this married man they just like ran through. They on more than 15, and it's crazy.
How many you on?
Why? I don't know why this married man always ask women this. I just don't know why. Why are you?
He looking for the gotcha moment.
The reason y'all ask the truth.
I said my number.
Come on, y'all.
I said my number. I already said my number. Go back and look at the show. Go back and look at it.
So mommy, is it mommy? Didn't you say that most women weren't about anything either? Didn't you say that?
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm talking about young
hold on,
ladies. Like I'm
and
talking
Mr.
about like
Letgo, hold
teaching
on,
them now.
and Mr. Letgo said the same thing, right? But Mr. Letgo's mind is about bringing the community together, right? That's what he's saying, right? So I'm gonna come back to my subject where y'all got triggered when I asked you a question. If a man is great and willing to do all the things he just said, does he have different liberties? Is he expect to be monogamous, or is he allowed to deal with multiple women and be polygamous if he's dealing with a woman with 15 bodies, multiple babies, and multiple baby daddies? Because at any point, if all the men can control you, if all the men can control you, is
Why
he gonna
can't
be
a
able to
man have two women?
Ooh,
But
women
makes
don't
a lot
like
of
that
sense.
question.
Okay. That's a simple answer. And I'm going to sum it up in this statement. Relationships are about balance. This is why the whole single mom thing ultimately has an answer. And the answer is it's not a death sentence. Because again, what we're talking about here is fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, childless. Average man will take 3 to 4 out of the 6. Now, to some men, you having kid out of wedlock is a deal breaker. That's fine. Leave those men alone. But believe me, there are enough average men out here who would still be willing to make it work. Particularly if they already have kids too. And we're just combining 2 families. There are a lot of men out here who would be willing to do that. But the trick is that if you're missing, if that's one, you're not childless anymore. Okay, we still got 5 other categories to where you can self-improve. Again, self-improvement means a lot. As far as relationships go, you need to be doing it in the areas that men care about. Those 5 other areas I just mentioned, or that's where you have a room for growth, right? And the trick is that the things that you're best at, the categories that you're best at, you need to find a man who values those 3 to 4 things, right? And again, but it's about balance, because that brings up the question that they were just talking about, how if this great man is doing this, okay, well, obviously if he is bringing more, then that means that they're going to be able to work something out. Whether you want to work out that man if he's going to be monogamous or not, that's a big thing. That's very important to ladies. I'm not going to shame any woman or man who is on the conditions of their marriage. We're not at the point where we need to have that conversation, because again, this ties back into what we were talking about before between Anton and Let Go, right? I told you that they're both solving a problem. It's just different chapters of the same book. What I mean by that is that Let Go is pro-marriage. Well, once you have a community of pro-marriage people, then we can start talking about being successfully married. That's where what Anton says comes into play. But if the marriage is not the norm, then who are these individuals that are going to qualify to be successfully married? The majority of the population, it's just not there. I mean, we're talking about, you can only pick from those who want to win, and it's only going to be a small percentage. But how do you make that the norm then? You can't build a community off very small percentages. That's why the whole high value thing that's not a relevant conversation on this side of YouTube, because that's not the majority. The majority of the people will never come in contact with that. We have to start, if we want to start building a community, if we want to make changes, if we want to make improvements, then the argument needs to be made for things that are going to affect the majority of people. Those kind of conversations help make the biggest improvements in the shortest amount of time. So again, they're both right, but it's a timing thing. Once marriage is made the norm, then we can move forward to talking about being successfully married. But you want to sit here and have this being successfully married amongst a community of people that don't value marriage in the first place. That's a waste of time. No one's going to value that conversation except when you're ultra elite. But then you're not moving the needle on anything. All you're going to do is create a very small niche of communities, which is what Anton is a part of. But we can see how that plays out. All you're doing is creating another unicorn, which doesn't benefit the community as a whole. And I get his whole point about, I'm the man that I would want my daughter to marry, and my whole life is online, and you can look to this as an example. The problem is that there's not many. First off, men like Anton, they are a unicorn to begin with. But now you got to deal with the fact that this unicorn is going to put his whole life online. Most people are not going to sign up to do that. So then that leaves us with even less people. You see how that becomes an issue? What we need, I still stand behind the statement that we need more married people making content so that we have different variations of ways that marriages can work. Doesn't mean you need to model everything that couple does, but it gives you an idea or a framework of how to construct a marriage that's going to last. That's basically what this conversation boils down to. Like I said, marriage is definitely a way of improving the community. It solves a lot of the issues, along with fixing some other social constructs like the vetting process. We've had conversations about that. I'm not gonna go into depth in that, not on this video, because we've already discussed it. Will we have to discuss it again? Absolutely, but not today, right? So ultimately, yes, some of you guys out there, you qualify to marry a single mom. That's what you qualify for. If you don't like that fact, okay, well then bring more to the relationship. That's how you can say, okay, well, I have this. I'm looking for someone who can match me. That's how you avoid that situation. Not saying that you have to go out and marry a single mom, but let's face it, a lot of you out there, that's what you qualify for currently. My thing is that marry where you're at. If you don't want to marry a single mom, most of the women out here are single moms. You need to step it up. Plain and simple. You know, one of the ways you can do that is that you can get married sooner. I know, but most of you aren't ready to be husbands at that point. But again, this is why we got to start raising our maturity level as far as relationships goes, because then if we're doing that, then there are less single moms in their early 20s than there are in their early 30s. That's just the numbers game right there. But look, guys, this is great conversation, high level conversation. You know, that's what we're here for. And you know, I love it. So you know what else I love? 600 subscribers. Yeah. But it's a great conversation. We're definitely going to be sticking with the Lapeef Network. But I'm going to say goes to the next time. Peace. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. But do me another favor, like and subscribe, but also check out these here. Either subscribe or watch videos, one or the other. I don't know which side, but hey, all right.